Hello people, this is Udav Joshi. So we have been told that success is making more money or having suffixes like CEO or president or vice president suffixed to your name. But that's not always true. Success is persistence. Success is a hustle. And it can be found in mundane things. It can be found in your own neighborhood. I found one such great story of persistence and hustle in my own neighborhood. Cricket in Dallas is a big sport. There are 27 cricket grounds in Dallas Fort Worth area alone. More than 2,000 people play cricket here. But it always wasn't like this. It all started with persistence and hustle of a few individuals. I had a chance to meet one such individual, Rajan Dwivedi, who along with his peers such as Kuljit have been steering this effort of bringing cricket into more limelight and promoting cricket in Dallas. Dallas Cricket League is one of the biggest leagues in the US now. And Rajan also runs several communities such as Flower Mound Cricket Association and Open Community Cricket Association. He, along with his peers, have managed to cut through all the bureaucracy and red tape to get this infrastructure built, and they have convinced city officials and the government to build this infrastructure. Due to this infrastructure and this new development in this area, there has been so much economic activity that is going on. And this is not just about sport, it's also about bringing communities together, bringing people together, and promoting a new kind of phenomenon. So that's the story. Let's get on with it. Hello guys, so I'm sitting in beautiful house of Rajan Dwivedi, who's with me. He's our today's immigrant I'm going to be interviewing. And before I even start with this interview, Rajan, thanks for the tea. बहुत मजे की चाय बनी है. बहुत मजा आ गया. So guys, if you are in the mood for good tea, I'll definitely send you the address. I don't think Rajan would mind. So, to introduce Rajan, he's a community evangelist. He is the person who's been in this country for about 20 years, and he's been in Dallas Fort Worth area for quite a long time. And, since he got here, he has developed an infrastructure for cricket in Dallas Fort Worth area with the help of the city and dealing with all the red tape and bureaucracy with the city. So that's what basically we are going to try and understand and, get a feel of that journey. So Rajan, before we even get into that journey, what can you tell us about cricket in Dallas today?
Cricket in Dallas today is rapidly growing. There is a lot of demand for cricket. There are multiple models. Model for recreational cricket, where people are playing just for the fun, for recreational needs. There is competitive cricket as a league model. There are cricket academies which are propping up in all over DFW area, which is about educational cricket to kids, youth cricket, and in fact there is a league for women cricket also. So again, multiple models. Now, in terms of numbers, there are more than 100 teams in league.
100 teams. That's a big number
for adult cricket, like people like us. Apart from youth and women leagues.
So, if you say 100 teams, that means about 1,100 people play cricket.
2,000 people.
2,000 people play cricket.
Each team has like 20 people.
Wow.
Or more than 20 people.
So, was it always like this, or was it different when you first started building this all together?
Yeah. So for example, when I started, we used to have the 6 to 8 people to play cricket.
Okay.
It was very difficult to find more than 10 or 12 people. And after first couple of years, we started having people like 12 or 14, which we used to think is fun to play. That's a good strength. And we started realizing the games become more interesting when you have about 14 people.
Right.
So again, like I think a lot of people who started cricket playing during that time, like Kuljit Singh, they went through very similar journey, just like me.
Great. And, since I see what cricket is like in Dallas today, and I see this infrastructure about 27 grounds, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And some 100 plus teams, as you mentioned. So when you started, I believe you were saying before that, you started playing on fields which were not even cricket grounds. So what was it like, and how did you start playing cricket in first place?
Yeah, so we started playing in school grounds. We got kicked out many times.
You got kicked out?
Yeah.
Wow.
We started playing in athletic fields. like soccer fields. And eventually some cities started seeing the damage on two ends, separated by 22 yards, and they were scratching their head, what's happening here?
All right, so that's how they came to know what the cricket pitch is like.
Yeah, and then they kind of came to know that something happens here apart from soccer.
Great.
And eventually they caught us, and we had to explain, this, what is this sport? What do you guys play? What are these three sticks?
Oh wow.
So that was their lesson number one about the sports, and the need for evangelism originated as a necessity. So it was our efforts where we started educating them about the sports, about our community, that we are playing for recreational needs, for coming together. So they finally allowed us to play outside the soccer field, just outside the soccer field. So that was previous to that, we were nomads, we were hackers. Whatever good grounds we were able to find or locate, and we will just go and
just go and play.
Try it out whether that ground offers good bounce or not.
So is there any parking lot or ground in Dallas where you have not played?
Yeah, actually, parking lot is an interesting idea, because people who came from India, they enjoyed more on playing on the real playground. But for example, like our friends from Pakistan, they always enjoyed playing with a lighter ball without taping it and playing it on the concrete,
because it gives a better bounce.
Yeah, and the ball moves actually. And when Pakistani players, they came to play with us, we beat them badly. And when we went to play with
now this interview is getting into whole different controversial topics, so let's just change it.
And where we lost actually very badly. So we learned, the cricket has so many different elements and different models that you can pursue with. So that was the fun part actually.
All right. So now that you have told us a little bit about the journey that you went through, what can you tell us about any challenge that you faced and you almost gave up, trying to convince city officials, or, any incident that you can think of which you felt was completely disheartening for you?
Yeah, I think during such a long journey, you will go through many stumbling blocks and many challenges that might actually dishearten you. But I think your character develops where you just don't want to give up. You will face the challenges, you will help people to overcome those challenges because you need their support, right? So one example is the city told us that we have to vacate the field. It's going to go through construction. They are going to take out the whole ground and put the new solder and sprinklers and everything. But it was a 1 year project actually.
Wow.
So we were given a secondary field, and in that field we placed our synthetic pitch. We actually we spent $4,000 to bring the surface from UK to Port of Houston.
And that sounds very expensive.
Yeah, but that's for the love of the game. Now residents complained because that ground was a soccer ground and that synthetic surface is not helping them. So we had to take out that surface. So 1 year we had to play cricket without any surface, and that quality was subpar compared to playing on the surface. So that was a little disheartening and long time, and but we knew that we are being patient for the good fruits in the future.
So you said you got kicked out of those grounds, and still you showed that persistency. Is that what you think got you to the level you are today with respect to cricket in Dallas?
Yeah, I think our love for cricket was genuine and is genuine. We played on a frosty surface. We played when it was drizzling. We played when it was super cold. We still play when it is 32 degrees or 0 degrees sometimes. So that indicates that people like to come together. Cricket is just a reason. And when people are coming in these testing situations, it means they like the game. It's our persistence, consistency, and our discipline to enjoy the game. And just because we all were together in playing cricket week after week, it got us here where we are.
That's that sounds like a pretty impressive journey, and I believe you are a chief strategy officer with Dallas Cricket League now,
which is one of the biggest leagues in the US, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, there are multiple leagues in each city, and Dallas Cricket League focus on different uh, seasons, different teams, adult, youth, and women cricket. So it is certainly bigger by size. If you take a look, like 2,000 players, uh, 27 grounds,
Wow.
and more than 1,000 games each season.
Great.
And
So, what is your role as a chief strategy officer with DCL? That must keep you really busy.
yeah, so my role is to do the master planning, road mapping, forward thinking, bring the thought leadership, innovation. Innovation, for example, like build the bots.
Right.
You can build a smart bot powered by artificial intelligence, which has cognitive services, linguistics, and you can interact with this bot with your voice, and you can say, "Hey, DCL bot, can you tell me my team
So, are
score?"
you actually developing these kind of things right now?
Yeah, so we have initiated these
Wow.
kind of concepts. So my role is digital transformation. My role is to also present the case studies and the impact on the community.
Wow.
To also work with the
So
park
I believe
park
that
officials.
that's where your experience as at Microsoft comes in play. And to tell our viewers, Rajan has a very successful career at Microsoft. He also has a couple of startups under his belt. So he's not just successful in bringing cricket to Dallas and building this kind of infrastructure, massive infrastructure, I would say, in this city, but he's been successful in his professional life as well. So Rajan, what can you tell us about that, about your career at Microsoft and these startups?
So I had three phases in my career. One was purely as a technologist, coming here and building applications, building solutions, and running those solutions for mission critical purposes.
Right.
Second part was more entrepreneurial path, where I worked for two startups. Then I was bitten by a startup bug myself, so I created a company called Syntraxis,
Okay.
and we
And
provided
what did you guys
a
do?
platform, a aspirational platform. We called it aspirational communities,
Okay.
where people can come together for some purpose, and they
We
can,
as in you had co-founders as well.
yeah. And then my third phase of my career is now I'm a digital officer in Microsoft, and I'm leading some big transformational initiatives at large enterprise customers.
Okay.
And these transformations are powered by enhancements in technology like
Great.
cloud and social or mobility or uh, big data analytics.
That sounds like a pretty intense job, I would say. And
It's
that must,
fun. I enjoy
how do you
it.
juggle between all these different
I
things?
think I learned this, that you have to figure out what are the primary choices in life. So you use your job to feed the passion to take care of your primary choices in life. So cricket is one primary choice that I made a decision. And my new choices are like camping, hiking, mountaineering. So for example, in 2016, I climbed Mount Whitney, I climbed Mount Shasta, Mount Rainier, and for 2017, I'm
Great.
going to Alaska. So again, like it's the balance. If every person discovers, he has to go through this journey,
Go through the phase. Right.
phases in life, and you figure it out who you are, what your
Right.
interests are, and what gives you peace and happiness.
So, where do you see, cricket in Dallas going forward and cricket in the US, so to say?
I think cricket in US is still, it has grown. It has a lot more room to grow
Right.
in the future. It has a bright future. Just today itself, a global sports venture has announced they are going to invest $1.7 billion. So expect in the future,
$1.7 billion in
yeah,
Dallas,
in all over US.
in the US.
So
Okay.
expect in the future big stadiums coming into US.
That is going to be
International
huge.
T20 games happening in US. They're already happening. For example, in
Right.
Florida, right? Uh, a lot more youth participating
Right.
in cricket because there are academies that have come all across DFW area.
Right.
Uh, So yeah, there is the growth of cricket is a lot more rapid
Lot more
now
rapid.
onwards. Yeah.
So since our focus of conversation has been cricket so far, uh, if any particular cricketer is watching this show or video right now, who do you hope that cricketer would be, and what would your message to that cricketer would be? Would you like to invite him to Dallas Cricket League?
Absolutely, yes.
And
So
who's that cricketer? I would like to know.
I think there are so many excellent cricketers, top class cricketers, very good human beings in international cricket. I have been born and raised watching Gavaskar and legendary legends like Kapil Dev, winner of World Cup 1983.
1983.
Modern cricket, for example, Tendulkar or Dhoni or Kohli. But I think Tendulkar is, of course, is choice because of his.
Absolutely.
As a person, I would definitely invite Tendulkar or even Dhoni. Dhoni is absolutely fantastic cricketer to Dallas Fort Worth to spend some time with the youth, to invest some time with the hardworking people like Kuljit, and to encourage cricket here in US.
I've heard a lot about you talk a lot about Kuljit, and I believe he's also involved with DCL in a big way.
It's a lot of hard work by people like Kuljit, who are irreplaceable,
Right.
and I call myself as a community evangelist or servant of community, but Kuljit is like a servant of cricket.
Right.
Yeah.
So we would definitely like to meet Kuljit as well. And, I would like to swerve this interview a little bit towards the immigrant part of it. So you came to this country about, say, 20 years ago. Uh, what was that journey like, and how big of a cultural shock was it, and how did you overcome that?
I think quite a bit shock, cultural shock and being in a new place. You have to find a support system, new friends,
Right.
jobs. Many times you change. You have to buy a new car, learn driving, just like anybody else.
Absolutely. You drive on the right side of
Yeah,
the
drive
road.
on a different side of the road. You have to take loan, right? Which is kind of a different culturally in India.
Right.
When I grew up,
there is no
loan was
taboo.
considered as a kind of evil, right?
Right.
We were not raised in that kind of a culture.
Right.
But nowadays, I think it's okay. So pretty interesting because I came here with $250 in my pocket and a suitcase which has a lot of books in it because I didn't want to give up. I believe knowledge is power.
Do you still have those books?
I still have a lot of books.
Awesome.
Some
I mean,
hobby.
those books which you brought from India, do you still have those?
Yeah, I still have
That's-
all those books.
That's interesting. I would like to see them actually.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah.
that's pretty cool. And you said you came from very humble background. What can you tell us about your upbringing and your parents?
So I'm from Kanpur, and we lived in a outskirt of Kanpur. So again, we used to watch Doordarshan. That was the only entertainment.
Right. I grew up
and
watching Doordarshan too.
play cricket, street cricket, gully cricket.
Right.
You play. You study a lot. I got into IIT there, and my father was a teacher. So we come with a very, very humble, very modest background.
If I ask you who has been the most influential person in your life, who would that be?
I think I've studied a lot of people from Gandhi to Vivekanand and Cassius Clay, Muhammad playing boxing. But I think if I have to pick one, I would just say my father. He had a lot of discipline, courage to raise us, put the values, he spent time with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And no one can
It's
replace him.
shaping our character and making sure that we are successful today because of that discipline and
Definitely.
that commitment and the values.
So discipline and values has been a theme of this conversation, as I can see, because that's how you went about even convincing the government here to build infrastructure for cricket. And to conclude this interview, I have to tell the viewers that Rajan is an amazing poet himself. He speaks very Shuddh Hindi,
He's from Kanpur, so there is no surprise there. So Rajan, I would like you to recite any poem that one of your favorites.
So I would say कि हम सभी एक बहुत लंबी यात्रा पर चल रहे हैं और ये सारी जो सफलताएं हमें मिलती हैं इसमें पूरा का पूरा संपूर्ण श्रेय हमारे समूह हमारे दल को जाता है और इसमें कोई भी चीज़ ऐसी नहीं है जिसको मैं व्यक्तिगत अपनी या निजी कह सकूं, स्वयं की कह सकूं। और इस सफ़र के लिए, इस लंबी यात्रा के लिए मैं एक पोएम जो शायद शिव मंगल सिंह सुमन ने लिखी है वो बोलूँगा कि जिससे पथ पर स्नेह मिला, जिससे पथ पर स्नेह मिला उस राही को धन्यवाद। अस्थिर अनजाने ही जीवन, अस्थिर अनजाने ही पथ पर हो जाता मेल कहीं। सीमित पगडग लंबी मंजिल तय कर लेना कोई खेल नहीं।
क्या बात है।
दाएं बाएं सुख दुख चलता, दाएं बाएं सुख दुख चलता, सम्मुख चलता पथ का प्रसाद। जिससे पथ पर स्नेह मिला उस राही को धन्यवाद।
क्या बात है।
और साथ में कई लोग आते हैं सफर में, हमारे साथ जुड़ते हैं, कई लोग नहीं आ पाते हैं, कई लोग अलग हो जाते हैं। तो जो साथ ना मेरा दे पाया उसको भी धन्यवाद। आभार व्यक्त मैं करता हूँ उन सबका जो दे गए व्यथा, बिकॉज हम लोग बहुत सारे लेसन सीखते हैं,
में हम बहुत सीखते हैं।
दे आर लेसन्स फॉर अस, राइट?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, as always, Rajan Dwivedi honoring the teamwork. And since we are reciting poems, I had to recite one of my favorite poems, which also is about working together. This is one of my favorite poems by Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and it goes like this. कुछ कांटों से सज्जित जीवन, प्रखर प्यार से वंचित यौवन, नीरवता से मुखरित मधुबन, परहित अर्पित अपना तन मन, जीवन को शत शत आहुति में जलना होगा, गलना होगा, कदम मिलाकर चलना होगा, कदम मिलाकर चलना होगा।
4 लाइनें इसमें जोड़ दूं कि जब प्राप्त हमें सब तत्व यहाँ, जब प्राप्त हमें सब तत्व यहाँ, तो जा सकता वह सत्व कहाँ। तुम स्वयं सुधा रस पान करो, तुम स्वयं सुधा रस पान करो, उठकर अमृत विधान करो। नर हो ना उदास करो मन को, नर हो ना निराश करो मन को, कुछ काम करो, जग में रहकर कुछ नाम करो।
So I think there couldn't have been a better way to end this conversation. And honestly, I feel like this conversation shouldn't end because I have so much to learn from you, and I believe you have gone through a beautiful journey and very strenuous journey, which you have enjoyed as well. So, thank you, Rajan, for doing this, and look forward to seeing you again.
समलो किस योग न जाय चला, कब व्यर्थ हुआ सदुपाय भला। समझो जग को न निराश अपना, पथ आप प्रशस्त करो अपना। अखिलेश्वर है अवलंबन को, नर हो न निराश करो मन को। कुछ काम करो, जग में रहकर कुछ नाम करो। यह जन्म हुआ किस अर्थ अहो, समझो जिसमें यह व्यर्थ न हो। कुछ तो उपयुक्त करो तन को, नर हो न निराश करो मन को। निज गौरव का नित ज्ञान रहे, हम भी कुछ है यह ध्यान रहे। मरणोत्तर गुंजित गान रहे, सब जाए अभी परमान रहे। नर हो न निराश करो मन को, कुछ काम करो, जग में रहकर कुछ नाम करो।